Before we start, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more real-life stories that hit hard and leave you thinking. I never imagined marriage could feel like silence. Not the kind of peaceful quiet that hums between two people content in each other's company, but the kind that exists when words have run out. I'm Daniel, 38, and for years I believed love meant patience. I've since learned that sometimes it's simply endurance. When I first met Laura, she was electric. People couldn't help but notice her. The way she laughed, the way she filled a room without even trying. I was quieter, more grounded. Maybe that's why we clicked at first. Her chaos, my calm. But as the years went on, that balance faded into background noise. Her voice grew louder and my presence smaller. The first time she said, "Don't take everything so seriously." It was after I discovered messages from a man named Travis. Nothing explicit, just flirtatious enough to sting. She waved it off with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "You're overreacting," she said. I wanted to believe her. I had to, because love makes you rewrite reality until the pain dulls, but small cracks widened into quiet distances. She started working late, dressing up for nights out with friends, leaving her phone face down more and more. I asked gently if we were okay. Her answer was always the same. "You're too sensitive." Funny thing, when someone tells you that enough, you start seeing your feelings as flaws. I kept trying date nights, flowers, weekends away. Every gesture met the same amused indifference. Like I was entertaining a child. Once when I suggested counseling, she laughed. "Marriage isn't therapy, Daniel. It's supposed to be fun." "Is it fun for you?" I asked. She smiled slowly, deliberately. That night, lying beside her, listening to her breathing, I realized it no longer comforted me. It just reminded me how distant she had become, even when she was inches away. Months went by. Our home became polite, civil, like co-workers sharing a kitchen. Then one evening, while I was cooking, she looked up from her phone and said casually, "You know, if you don't like how things are, you could always find someone else." I froze. The ease of her words, that teasing smile. It shifted something inside me. She expected anger, maybe a plea, but I felt only clarity. It wasn't the words that hurt. It was how casually she spoke them. For years, I'd been chasing a version of her that no longer existed. Perhaps she never did. Perhaps I was in love with a memory. So, I began to pull back, not with bitterness, but with calm. I stopped explaining myself. I stopped fixing things she didn't notice were broken. I went back to the gym, joined a running group, cooked for one instead of two. Of course, she noticed. People always notice when the attention they took for granted disappears. Going somewhere, she asked one evening as I put on a jacket. "Yeah, meeting some friends." "Since when do you have friends?" she teased. "Since I stopped waiting for you to come home," I said. She rolled her eyes trying to brush it off, but there was a flicker of unease in her posture. A few weeks later, I met someone, Emma. She wasn't dazzling like Laura. Not the type who commanded every room, but she listened. She laughed easily. She genuinely asked about my day. Coffee twice a week, then dinner once. Nothing inappropriate, just connection. Connection I'd forgotten existed. One night, Laura asked me to help move boxes in the garage. While we worked, she glanced at me. "You seem different lately." "Cold?" "I'm not cold," I said quietly. "Just done being warm where it's not wanted." She smirked, the same dismissive twist of her mouth. "Don't like it? Find someone else." I looked at her, truly looked, and for the first time in years, I felt no pain, only truth. I already did. Her smile froze. Her eyes flickered, confusion giving way to panic. Silence didn't feel empty anymore. It felt final. For a long moment, she just stood there, mouth half open, as if her brain couldn't process it. Then she laughed, too sharp, too loud. A sound meant to fill the space before reality could settle. "Cute," she said, shaking her head, trying to make me jealous now. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Silence carried the weight. She'd never allowed me to speak. She followed me into the kitchen, voice rising. "So, who is she? One of your gym friends or that woman from work who keeps liking your posts?" I rinsed my hands, wiped them on a towel, and said calmly, Does it matter? The calm in my voice unsettled her more than any accusation could. She wanted drama, a fight to prove I still cared enough to argue, but I had spent years drowning in that noise. Now I just wanted peace. She scoffed, stormed off, muttering something about a midlife crisis. I let her go. For the first time, I realized I didn't have to chase the conversation anymore. I had been running after her for so long that standing still felt like freedom. That night, she slept on her side, back turned, phone glowing faintly in her hand. I looked at the light spilling across her shoulder, and realized how long I had mistaken distance for loyalty. Love doesn't always leave with a grand gesture. It fades quietly while you're still holding the door open. In the days that followed, she tried everything. Anger, cold remarks, slam drawers, pointless questions, then curiosity. Where are you going? Who are you meeting? Finally, concern. You've been quiet lately. Are we okay? Clarity has a way of making everything obvious. We're fine, I said. Just heading in different directions. She didn't like that answer. Maybe she expected begging or explanation, but the truth required none. One evening, sitting down for dinner at the same table for the first time in weeks, she asked, "Are you sleeping with her?" I looked up. No, but I'm honest with her. That's something I can't say about us anymore. Her fork froze. I saw her eyes softened, the first crack in her armor. So, this is it. This was it a while ago. We just kept pretending, I said. The next morning, I packed a few bags, only what was mine. I didn't want to leave in anger. I wanted to leave, right? I left her. The house, the furniture, the comfort of routines. I took my clothes, my books, my peace. At the door, she appeared. "Daniel, wait," she said, voice trembling, stripped of sarcasm. I didn't mean it, you know. That day in the garage, I was just joking. I turned, met her eyes, and for the first time, I saw fear. Not manipulation, real fear, the kind that comes when someone finally realizes you are serious. "I know you were," I said gently. "But you meant the comfort behind it. The part that assumed I'd never actually leave. And this other woman, is she? Why no?" I said. "You are why." She reminded me what being truly seen feels like. For a second, neither of us moved. Then I reached for the handle. "I hope you find what you were chasing. I'm done being the thing you run from." Outside, the air felt lighter. The night sky looked cleaner, sharper. Freedom doesn't always roar. Sometimes it just exhales. A week later, I met Emma at a small cafe. She asked how it went. I told her the truth. No drama, no bitterness. She smiled softly. "So what now?" I laughed. Now I remembered who I was before apologizing for existing. She reached across the table, touched my hand, and for the first time in years, I didn't feel the need to explain myself. I just felt enough. Sometimes closure doesn't come from forgiveness or revenge. It comes the moment you stop auditioning for a love that was never yours. Laura texted a few times after that, nostalgic, confused.